The new Topps Chrome basketball set came out on the 28th, and if you listen to my episode where I ran through the checklist, you know I've been mentally preparing myself for a mediocre product at best. I'd kind of already accepted it wasn't going to be very good, but at the same time, I was hoping there were parts of it that would still be tolerable. Well, now that the product has released, I can honestly say it is exponentially worse than I thought it would be. It is a hideous looking, lazy, low value cash grab of a product. And look, I know beauty is subjective, but you guys have all seen the comments on social media. People hate the base design. They hate the photo selections. They hate the weird photoshops. I could go on, and I'll come back to some of this later. And don't get me wrong, I've been saying it on the podcast for a while now. Hey, when Topps Chrome finally comes back to basketball, it's not going to be the version we left off with before. But this new iteration doesn't resemble the old sets in any way, and as someone who loves the Topps Chrome sets of the 90s and 2000s, it's disappointing to say the least. So, as of right now, as far as I'm concerned, Topps Chrome is dead. And the reality of the matter is, this is Fanatics Chrome. And from here on out, I think I'll refer to it as such. And if you know anything about Fanatics, you know that controlling the narrative is a real big deal to them. I think I did an entire episode on that at one point, and part of it's worth revisiting today. So, as I'm giving some of my thoughts, I want to look at how Fanatics has marketed this release, and then what kind of narrative they might be trying to put into place, or trying to perpetuate along the way. Okay, so there's a good chance you've seen a promo graphic they made that featured Victor Wembanyama and a few other players that they were passing out at Fanatics Fest. And they ended up posting it on their social media as well. In all caps, at the very top, it said, "This is a renaissance," which was their way of saying it's the rebirth of the brand. Or I think another one of their posts said, simply, "It's finally back." It also means they consider this product to be part of the Topps Chrome canon. Thus, I think it's only fair to hold it to the standard of previous Topps Chrome products. And it's kind of funny that they've marketed so hard around nostalgia, while at the same time overlooking the history and essence that made Topps Chrome what it was. I've talked some about the history already on a previous segment. You might remember their website outlined the history of the brand, or tried to, but there were a couple of blatant errors, and I think MindCycle Cards talked a little about it in one of his videos as well. And just in case you've forgotten, I also want to remind you that this is the same leadership team that bashed Topps history in front of investors when they claimed they had innovated more in their first year with the company than the previous regime had in its first 70 years, which, mind you, was just not true. Now, I don't know if what we got this past week was supposed to be innovative in any way. It probably wasn't, right? But like I said earlier, they're marketing it as if it's in the Topps Chrome canon. Well, it felt more like a brand new, low-quality set with cheap graphics added on, which, fittingly enough, establishes it as an authentic Fanatics product. And as I said earlier, I'm going to try to refer to it as that from now on, so allow me to offer up some more of my early observations from the inaugural edition of Fanatics Chrome. And by now, I think everyone is aware that this is an unlicensed set. And I guess technically you could say it's licensed by the Players Association, but it's not an official NBA branded set. So we're stuck with what the hobby calls pajama cards. And Panini actually used that phrase in their lawsuit with Topps. There's a clip circulating of Michael Rubin using it too, but I think his usage was a response to Panini, and that might explain the sly grin. That, or he's just proud to be using hobby slang. But at the end of the day, there are good cards with PJ picks, and then there are bad ones. And to be honest, the Panini baseball ones never felt all that bad to me. I mean, yes, I know there were some that weren't great, but overall, I thought they were okay. And did I wish those were licensed cards instead? Sure. But all in all, I think they did a pretty good job working with what they had. But this Fanatics Chrome basketball, it doesn't seem like they were very strategic with their photo selections at all. They slid the numbers up on the jersey, and it looks really weird. And then on top of that, I'm seeing a lot of other weird stuff. Like, I think there's at least 2 cards with Jaylen Brown wearing a baggy t-shirt under his jersey. He's got a chain on too, which makes me think it was some sort of practice photo that they tried to airbrush a jersey on. And then there are players that wear headbands all the time, like Reggie Jackson and Miles Turner, and they don't have them in some of these pictures. So, this whole time, us collectors thought that they airbrushed the logos out. I'm starting to think with a lot of the cards, not all of them, but with a lot of cards, they might have actually airbrushed the jerseys on, or even cropped heads on, which is kind of wild to me. So if you have any examples of this, please feel free to send them my way. I've been looking for photo sources, have not been able to find very many. It's puzzling to me. So anyway, and then there's the backs of the cards. And a lot of you have probably noticed that card backs, have been reduced to practically nothing over the last couple of years. We used to get a write-up, picture, and some stats. And really, the picture used to be a different picture than what was on the front. Panini then kind of changed to the same picture as the front. And then now a lot of sets don't have that. So it'll be a team logo and the player name, and that's about it. So, many people, myself included, were hoping they would bring stats back. Well, be careful what you wish for. We got 6 columns spread out about as far as possible with a basic white background. And I was looking through story posts the other day, and I saw one from Josh, Mitten State Collector, where he said, somehow the backs of the base cards are more disappointing than the front. And after all the airbrushing talk, that's saying a lot. Okay, so I talked about the nostalgia marketing earlier, but I still haven't addressed the other main selling point, which is the athlete exclusives. Because Fanatics knows even if they produce a hideous low-quality product, it's still the only spot you'll be able to find current autographs of Victor Wembanyama and LeBron James, although some of them apparently have to be redeemed. Yes, that's right, the company that talks such a big game about eliminating sticker autos and redemptions just rolled out a product that contains both. And it's kind of confusing because Victor's true base rookie autos all appear to be stickers. His base 1972 auto is a redemption, but some of the parallels have been packed out, and they're streaky, but they're on card. And by the way, the streaky autographs is an ongoing issue with Topps right now. That's not exclusive to basketball. They've got to figure out a better way to get a surface that the pins will show up on. And then it's hard telling what the LeBrons will look like or how they're going to be packed out because as of this recording, I haven't seen a live LeBron James autograph in the product. The Superfractor auto has been pulled already, and it's a redemption. So I guess only time will tell. Now, rest assured, though, if you collect a common player or anyone that's not worth marketing the whole product around, it's going to be a sticker, which concerns me a lot. And this is obviously a feast or famine product, as a lot of products are. That's not exclusive to Topps or Fanatics. But this one might be taking it to the extreme. We've established by now that the only real value in the product comes from hitting either a Victor or a LeBron. And we know from past products that LeBron likely didn't sign a ton. So that means a lot of people are going to get burned. And there really aren't any consolation prizes this time around. And I've been saying for a couple years now, Fanatics has to put in the effort to create quality products with at least some secondary value outside of the feast or famine stuff, or it's simply not going to work. They keep talking about making the experience better, and yeah, Fanatics Fest looked like a lot of fun, and Hobby Rip Nights with athletes, that's good, right? But the experience is only part of the product. They purchased a company that creates collectibles. Yeah, I know a lot of people are just looking for lottery tickets these days, but these cards are meant to be collectibles. And if you want to court collectors, you have to create something worth collecting. I'm not convinced that's going to happen. That doesn't seem like the crowd that Ruben and Mahan are really all that interested in catering to. And I'm curious to see if the most recent train wreck of a product is ever going to be properly addressed for what it is. You might remember Ruben's apology a year or two ago when a batch of Fanatics shirts were misprinted. The solution was more or less, hey, we're going to press another batch of shirts and we'll make sure the team name and number are right. What we really should have gotten was, hey, we know we've monopolized the industry, we're taking a lot of your money, but we really need to create a better quality shirt, and we're going to go about doing that. Now, obviously, it's not going to be said in those exact words, but it would be nice if they would actually focus on the product a little bit and not just, hey, we're going to ship you out a new one real quick that's the exact same quality. And I want to point out that apology post from Ruben also contained the phrases, if there's one thing I've learned in business, own your mistakes. and one bad product and one unhappy customer is one too many. Well, it's clear from reading social media this week that there are many unhappy customers when it comes to this product, and rightfully so. It sucks. So, once again, the ball is in Rubin and Mahan's court. Do they really want to own their mistakes as they claim they do? Or is it just more of the same lip service that we've been fed before?